This
Got it.
meeting is being recorded.
Hello. Good to see you. It is April, halfway through April. Can you believe how fast this year's going? Like, it's just craziness, isn't it? And so it's good to be here. Great to be here, and good to see some new faces we haven't seen before, faces we haven't seen for a while. So this is going to be wonderful. So hello, everyone. Hello. So what it might be a good thing to do. We might just start like maybe because a lot of us know each other, but Eva, if you don't mind, and Justin, if you don't mind, maybe just if you don't want to, you don't have to, but it's good. One of the great things about this forum is we all know each other, we love each other. And Bill, I don't know, you haven't been on one of these for a while, and I know you've got some exciting news to share, so we want to hear from you for sure. So yeah. Let's do that. Let's start. I want to let me do a quick intro of Eva and Justin, because Eva is someone that I met quite recently over the last couple of months. And Eva is an amazing lady who has endured. So a lot of you'll probably relate. She's got an acquired brain injury, was hit by a car many years ago, and has spent her life making the most of that and using that as a platform to help and inspire people. And she's just starting the journey to write her book. So, hello, Eva.
No, I would say I'm actually quite way along it, because I've kept a diary since I was 14 years old and kept a diary throughout my entire brain injury experience, which was 23 years. And I also had stage 4 cancer in 2009 too. So they're just markers
A few little blips on the path
of what has been a remarkable life. It really has been, and I've really dragged my heels in getting this started. But now I just thought, fuck it, I've turned away from my other work. It's time for me to focus on myself again. There you go.
Yay! Good on you. It's great to see you. And now Justin is someone again that I've met quite recently, and we've connected, haven't we, mate? And got a lot in common. Got a sporting background, and Justin's got a vision now to be an author and a coach and a speaker, and coming to Bali, which he's excited about, aren't you?
Yeah, mate, looking forward to it. A bit of a holiday. It's been a while, and I've always wanted to do a wellbeing retreat, so good timing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us a bit about what you want to write about, mate, and why you're here, and what the journey is unfolding for you.
Listen, I suppose I'm seeing myself as a bit of a common person who's just lived life, but had a lot of ups and downs in that life. Very, very sporty natured person, I suppose, and I always put sport before most work interests as far as passion goes. So sort of got to 49 years old, and I'd previously thought about, I wouldn't mind writing a book. I don't know how to go about it or what it would come out like, but connected with Andrew, and I think he's just told me to stop thinking about it, just do it. And so I'm sort of 3 chapters into writing. I don't know if this is any good so far, but I'm just putting it out there and trying to do a bit of a life journey, but with a message perhaps for people who might read it in the future, that I always used to think I had to be the best at everything, especially in sports, to make it and be recognised in life. But I think I've learned that the message I'm sending will be that you don't have to be the best in the world, something to be the best version of you. And I've sort of learned that as I've got older, and that all comes through so many ups and downs, let alone not just in sport but in life. I've had a lot of things that have been really positive happen, but a lot of negatives happen, and a few deaths close to me. So they're good reality checks to understand, to appreciate every day in life, and just try and get the best out of yourself, and stop competing with the popular celebrities or sports people of the world, thinking if you don't become as good as them that you're not as worthy as them when you are. So I suppose I'm just trying to write something that'll come out along those lines, Andrew, and just send a message that hopefully any good people will get it.
Beautiful, mate. It's beautiful, and I think the message is really powerful, that you don't have to do something extraordinary to be extraordinary. You just have to live your best life and that you're okay as you are, which I think is a really strong message, mate. So good on you. And thanks. Good on you for being here.
No worries.
I just want to, I think before we get too far in, I want to share some news, which is not the happiest of news, but I think a lot of you met Deb Marks. I don't know if you remember her. She's been on quite a few of these calls. She passed away recently. She's been in care, and she's already written several books, and she had this vision and passion to, really do big things. And unfortunately, she's gone to heaven. However, she has left a legacy. She's left a book, and she's left a lot of amazing memories and inspiration in people's hearts. So I just wanted to mention that to you guys. I mean, some of you won't know her, and some of you may not even remember her. She's been, as I said, been to a few of these forums, but I think what it does for me, again, when this happens, that one of the things that I come back to a lot is this whole idea of legacy, because the bottom line is every one of us is going to, at some point, and I don't want this to be morbid at all, it is going to come to the end of our time on this planet. It's going to happen at some point. And my question is always, what are you leaving? Because we've all along the way, we've all collected and acquired and developed and learnt and overcome, and we've got this incredible bank of inspiration, wisdom, and lessons that we can leave for generations to come. And I see becoming an author, what better way to do it? What better way to leave stuff? How many of you read books? I'm currently reading How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie at the moment, and I don't know when he passed away, but he's been gone for a while. And there's so many books that we read and keep reading that are people that keep impacting our lives from people that have been dead for a long, long time. And so for sure, we need to live every moment. And Justin, you said that, live every moment. Don't waste a second of this time we've got, but make sure you are leaving that legacy for other people to be inspired by you. You're not who you are on just on the planet. You are who you are for eternity, and what you leave behind is you, and you live on. So anyway, there you go. I just thought we'd start with a little bit of sadness, but also I think opportunity. So let's go to Bill, because Bill is over there in state of Washington in USA, and he's had a few challenges, haven't you, over the last couple of years, Bill? But he's got some exciting news. So let's hear from you.
Well, my exciting news is this: my first book published with the help of Andrew. So I'm excited about that. I just got it in the mail over the weekend. Thank you. And it's called Straining at the Oars, Discovering Jesus in the Storms of Life. So this book has been percolating for a while. Andrew and I met in 2019 here in Yakima, Washington, where I was pastoring a church. And he said, if any of you are thinking about writing a book, talk to me. And well, that just struck a chord. So I talked to him, started writing in 2020, and in the midst of it, went through a difficult divorce that I did not expect. So it kind of added some fuel to the book. But it's basically, the premise is that for pretty much my whole life, it seemed like I've been a pastor my whole life. Now I'm a hospice chaplain, and I kept hitting a wall, changing course, hitting a wall, changing course, and not ever completely feeling like I'm fulfilling my purpose. But there was more below the surface than just fulfilling my purpose. And so I came upon a verse in the Bible in Mark 6 that talks about the disciples out in the middle of the storm, and that Jesus on the shore saw them, and he saw them straining at the oars. Another translation says, making headway painfully. And that just described my life. Making headway painfully, straining at the oars, because it was all about me and my achievement and doing it all on my own. And so when I saw that verse years ago, I just knew there was more to it. And when Andrew helped me unpack it, I was going in one direction. It ended up going in another direction, that there are many, many people who are straining at the oars in life, whether it's relationships, self-identity, worth, purpose, job, anything. And just not getting anywhere. And often we don't take the time to stop and be still and try to understand, why is life such a struggle right now? And so I've hopefully unlocked a few things that come from my experience that I hope will relate to others, but lots of battling depression, personal conflict, relational conflicts, um, narcissistic relationships, a bunch of things that through therapy I was able to identify in my own life that I said, you know what? I need to set the oars down, pay attention to what's going on inside of me, and try to figure out how to navigate this, with God kind of getting in the boat, Jesus getting in the boat, and letting me trust in him to navigate things. But boy, I tell you, even going through the divorce, I wanted to pick those oars up, and it was all about what I'm going to do to fix things, to make it better. And I had to be constantly reminded that it's not about me. There are some things I can't change, some things I can't control, but there are some things I can change, some things I can control about who I am, how I respond to the storms in my life, and find the joy, the life that we're supposed to have. And I'm just now figuring that out at 63. So hopefully,
Well, mate, you got there ahead of many people, that's for sure.
So anyway, so I'm excited to get the book out there in people's hands, and hope it blesses people, as I've been praying about.
You will, mate. Well, congratulations. That's so good. I don't know if anyone, but what we might do, Bill, is we might come back to this, because I'm sure there's people who've got some comments or questions for you, because I think when someone's a fresh author, there's always some questions from the group. But I know, Justine, you've got to duck off shortly. So you always have some amazing stuff to share. So I thought, why don't you share before you have to duck off?
So I've just written my second children's book, and I'm in the process of illustrating it. And I'm actually have written and illustrating it for an external party. So a company called River's Gift. So they are a foundation that raise money for clot death and trying to find a cure for SIDS. So I'm doing Hope, the Elephant Finds Hope. So the book, I've written it. I'm up to the 5th draft, and the other night I'm like, oh no, I'm still not quite happy. So it's progressing as the pictures come along. I'll add a few extra things. I have got the front cover here, which is nearly finished. So there she is.
Oh, that's so good. And just so you know, Justine is also an artist. So that's Justine's work. So
Yeah,
the art.
My book is coming along slowly again, thanks to Andrew being on my case.
Going slowly thanks to me. Is that what you're saying? So you're blaming me for going slowly?
No, I'm thanking you for kicking me in the butt to get it going again. I've also I'm writing another chapter in an anthology book.
Oh, stop it.
Which Andrew told me I'm not allowed to do, but this is my anthology book that I've put together, and I've got 25 authors from around Australia that are writing their stories on multiple sclerosis, because I have MS as well. And it kicks off Wednesday night, and so we're in the process of doing contracts and service agreements and everything like that. So it's very, very exciting. So that will be published in September. So it's a very quick process for this one. 6 weeks to write it, 2 weeks to do the editing. Back again, they're doing podcasts, they're doing vlogcasts, which I'm interviewing for. And then we've got the backing of MS Australia that's launching it in September. So if you're in Australia, you'll see it everywhere, because we're going to be over the news. We're going to be absolutely everywhere with that book. And that's my project at the moment. And I've signed to go and paid my deposit to go to the retreat as well. So, I can't wait to hop on that plane and go to Bali and learn what I don't know. So anyway, I think that's about all I'm up to in the writing world at the moment. And publishing other people.
You got to do something, Justine. You're just not good enough.
7 businesses. I'm not allowed any more. Everyone keeps telling me 7's enough. So anyway, I better go back to the other business, which is in the boardroom here at the house. And I'll be in on Tuesday night anyway. Okay. So have a fantastic month, everyone. And I might see some of you in Bali.
You will. You'll see Justin, definitely. And hopefully we'll see some others.
Yeah, cool. Take care.
See you, Justine. Bye. Thanks for sharing. Wow. There is something about that lady that it always inspires, hey? I mean, she didn't, she's very humble about what she's been through, but she's been through cancer, even met multiple cases of cancer and MS and domestic abuse and all kinds of challenges, but she just keeps getting up and she just keeps looking for the lessons and she keeps finding ways to help and inspire other people. And I think it's just an example of the power that we all have within us, hey? When we just let it flow. When we stop straining at the oars, hey, Bill? So I just want to open it up now. Just anyone who's got questions, comments, thoughts, ideas, you might want to ask Bill a question. You might want to share where you're at. If you've got a question or you've got a challenge, keep in mind, this is a mastermind group of people that can solve any problem you have. So if you've got one, don't be shy. We're all here to help each other. That's what this is all about. So I'd like just to open up the forum to anyone who'd like to share. Rosina, then Eva.
Thanks, Andrew. I really just a question to Bill because my internet cut out. So I missed the title of the book and when's it being launched?
It's called Straining at the Oars.
There you go.
And I ordered my bunch of books that I'm going to start getting in the hands of folks. And Andrew, this past week, gave me my to-do list on how to get it launched and going. So now it's about figuring all that out.
Well, Bill, what we'll do, we'll do an online launch for the group and anyone else. So, but I'll discuss that with you next time we meet.
Okay.
We'll set up a launch date. So, Rosina, there'll be opportunity to hear more about that and buy copies and stuff.
Great.
Cool.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Eva.
I don't know. Now I've got that little devil on my shoulder saying, no, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Okay. Right.
Too late.
Fuck off. Okay. Excuse me. I have an ABI, so I have.
Yeah, she's got an excuse. Blame the acquired brain injury.
It's all good. It's all good. Right. So I have been keeping a diary since I was 14 years old. I have thousands upon thousands of pages of stuff. I'm 47, just turned 47 now. I had my injury nearly 24 years ago when I had just turned 23. I have so much documentation, it's unreal. And I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. Right now, what I'm doing is I've gone back and I've listed memories from my life. And I'm up to page 22 now, 12.22, like just single line memories. And I'm only up to 2006. And so what I'm doing is I'm going through that list and I'm choosing which one I want to expand upon, but I don't even know if that is where I should be headed. I'm sorry, guys, but I feel like I'm right at the beginning, but I'm not. And
You're a bit lost, is what you're saying. Okay, well, Eva.
Help. Yes.
Eva, feel good because you are with a group of people who are going to give you some amazing ideas. So over to you, superstars. Anyone got any thoughts for Eva? Look, she's got pen, pause, ready to go. Okay, Rosina.
I haven't, not huge expertise, but I've done a couple of courses in memoir writing just out of interest. So one thing to think about, because by going through each of them, that looks like you're doing an autobiography, okay? And that's different to a memoir. A memoir is when you'll pick a certain section of your life, particular theme or focus, and that's what your book is about. Because obviously all our lives are vast and there's so much that happens. So in terms of memoir writing, if you're thinking about that the event of acquiring your brain injury, if that's your focus and the lessons and before and after, then you can focus on that. And that doesn't mean that you don't then go back another time and revisit other chapters in your life and write about those separately. Does that make sense, Eva?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it is too overwhelming.
Yeah.
So maybe, so narrowing your focus and what is the message? I think Andrew often what's the message that you're trying to get out there? Thinking about that. And what are some of the, what are the key points in that time frame that you can focus on? Yeah, that's just something that I've picked up along the track. I don't know if that helps.
No, thank you. Something else that I've been thinking of, I mean, I've led my recovery. I call it a curious recovery because I turned my head from Western medicine and what was being offered to me that way very, very early in the piece. And I have gotten better via exploring as many alternative, different sorts of therapies that are just as salient as, or even more salient than Western medicine. And so I really want to focus on keeping your mind open and not allowing yourself to be in one lane. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be quiet. Yeah.
No, that's brilliant, Eva. That, to me, that's already sparked my interest. As a person who luckily hasn't had, knock on wood, any sort of experience in that area, but already I love that, here are you've had an ABI and you're talking about keeping an open mind. I love that. It's a beautiful tagline there somewhere. And I love the focus on the alternative therapies and ways of healing. So, and that's huge. Now, we know that's huge in the world now. So that alone is your focus in exploring that side of your recovery. That there's enough there to keep going. And the fact that you've got, you've kept a journal and those bits can be included in it. That's just brilliant. Yeah. So great focus. Totally.
I appreciate your help. Thank you.
No. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, when you're writing a book, first of all, make sure what is your point of view? Because that's going to be important. Is it first person? Are you telling a story? Because you'll want to stick with that and be really comfortable with it. And don't be afraid to change that. But that'll be important when you're writing it. And a lot of times, your memoirs are first person point of view, but it doesn't have to be. Again, they can be storytelling. And if you're going on a journey, it can be chronological. But I agree 100%. What's really important, and I know that even Andrew has stressed this, is just clarity of your message. You have to have a very clear message, and that will guide you through this entire process. You'll pick out certain pieces that are going to say, yeah, that does exemplify what I'm trying to say. Because if you try and say too many things, it gets confusing for everybody. But don't be afraid to put it all down at first. Just write fearlessly. And then remember, you can always go back and edit and say that doesn't fit. But I would say those would be the first three things when I'm coaching someone to write a book. Those are the things I ask them. The why are you writing it? What point of view are you going to take with this so that we can stick with that? Is it a journey or is it just a short story? And your message is very important. And so that makes it easy. That makes it easier for you to just,
Thank you.
Great, Sheree. That's so good. Thanks, Rosina and Sheree. Anyone else got any thoughts, Eva? Well, I think that's probably, you've got some stuff there. You don't want to get too many opinions, do you?
No.
That's the worst thing when you ask for opinions, you get them, and then you've got conflicting opinions. So, but I think you've got some really good advice there from Mike. Did you want to add something?
I just want to say I know exactly the place that you are talking about, and it's overwhelming. But don't think too much into it. Just small steps, or break it down, compartmentalize, whatever it allows you to see it all and see your way through it.
That's awesome, mate. And I think that point, don't think too much about it. I think that it seems weird, doesn't it? You're writing a book, don't think. But honestly, you've particularly first draft, Eva. First draft is you write with your heart. The second draft, you write with your head, right? In other words, don't overthink your first draft. Don't worry about it. Just, as Sheree said, just dump it, get it out. Justine, who is just here, she calls it a shitty first draft. I don't know whether I'd say shitty, but I'd say you have permission to write badly. Okay, can everyone do that? Anyone write badly? Yep, I'm good at that. So just write it. Doesn't have to be good. There'll be multiple edits where you'll get it to the place you want it to. But if you don't get it out first, you've got nothing to work with. You've got to have that lump of clay there before you can mold it into anything. Right. So first thing you've got to do is get the pile of clay out first, then you can start molding it. And have fun. I think here's the deal with this, guys. Have fun with this. You know, this is not a job. And if you're feeling like this is a chore, then you're not focused on the right things. You know, you're creating something that's going to change lives, Eva. You are something that's going to live on long beyond you. It's going to have a positive impact on the world. Get excited about every single word you put down on that paper, knowing that word, that one word could be the thing for someone that changes the whole path, their whole direction in life. Isn't that fun? To me, that's just a joy. I love, and there are days when I write one word, you know, that's it. And I go, that's a great word. What an amazing word. That word's going to change lives. Exactly. So just know that what you're doing, Eva, is spot on. Do you know where you're going? No. Are you confused? Yep. Have you got any idea where it's going to end up? No. Isn't that the exciting thing about life? It's going to end up somewhere. Trust me, and I promise you where it does end up will either be where you want it to be or somewhere where you'll learn a lesson, where you can change direction. So wherever it ends up is a good place. Yeah? Yes.
Andrew.
Justin.
Okay, just as the newbie, just thought I'd add something there, not necessarily that will gain anything for Eva, but I'm in the same boat. I've obviously just started this little journey, and as I said earlier, I've tried to so far put 3 chapters together. But to the other ladies there that added a bit of value, I appreciate that, because I'm in the same boat as far as you're writing away, and then you've got all the memories that are there, and you're trying to put it into the right words in the right context. But from what I gathered, I hope I'm doing the right thing, is my message I'm trying to get across. I try and relate that message back towards the end of the chapter, so to speak, so that they get an idea of what I've just gone on in that chapter or speaking about in that part of my life as on the journey, that it'll all come back to this same message at the end of a chapter in a way. Does that sort of make sense how I should be trying to write it?
I think that sounds great, mate, because you're telling stories and then you're really reinforcing that message each chapter, which by the end of the book, if it's a consistent message, if I read the book and I hear it at the end of each chapter, it's going to be in there. So yeah, that's awesome.
No. The info the ladies gave and added there was great to hear. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, they're pretty special people in this group, aren't they?
Okay.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for that.
No worries.
I'm going to say something, Andrew.
Please do.
Oh my God, 3rd time, and that'll be it for me.
No, don't. Hey, Rosina, we want to hear from you whenever you want to speak.
Thanks, Andrew. Justin, just getting back to you, please. I wrote down the quote that you said because it was really powerful. And that's really exciting in terms of the book you're writing. And you said you don't have to be the best in the world to be the best version of you. That to me is just wow. So just keep going, because that's just a really powerful message. And I don't think that that's underlined enough. Yeah.
That's awesome, Rosina. And that's that powerful message of we always underestimate the impact we're going to have, right? Like for Justin, that was a throwaway comment. He didn't realize that was going to land so powerfully with you, Rosina, and I'm sure it landed with other people as well. And this is what I'm saying. Get excited about every word, because every word like that's just happened will have an impact on someone's life. Every one of us has got that ability to do that. But thanks, Rosina, for sharing. That was good for Justin to hear that. That gives him some validation that he's on the right path, right?
Sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For sure.
Good job. Anyone else want to share?
Well, I can say as an unpublished author who's finished up, and I'm 3 chapters shy of finishing my editing, that am I breaking up?
Yeah, you're breaking up. Maybe turn off your video and see if that does. We're just having trouble hearing you.
Let me try now. Is that better?
No.
No, never mind.
Types. Do you want to well, you could maybe go out and come back in, and that might fix it. Why don't you go leave and come back in? Oh, she's gone. Okay. Look, she takes my advice. Oh, there she is. You popped somewhere else.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Hey, that's better. What'd you do?
Okay. I was gonna say I'm an unpublished author, but I have finished my manuscript and I'm 3 chapters shy of finishing editing. And I thought I had written my book until I started the process of editing. And then I kept repeating that, what am I trying to say? What do I want the reader to come away with? What's the point of the book? And I've thrown out an entire chapter, and I am going on paper and literally writing out entire paragraphs and then adding another page or two in each chapter. So the manipulation of the original material is huge. So I just did what Andrew told me to do, and Cherie and everyone. I just wrote to my heart's content, which what I thought was going to be my book, and it's now not completely different, but and it's along the same lines of some of the other authors and soon-to-be authors of dealing with traumatic brain injury, immune deficiency, and bipolar disorder, and how I've dealt with all those issues and gone from a vegetable after my car accident to being able to write a book. So my message is sort of the same as some of the new writers, with inspiration and a lesson and some wisdom. And I just follow what Andrew tells me to do. And so far it's worked out pretty well, very well these days about the way everything is going.
Awesome. Thanks, Denise. You did sound like a bit of an alien then, but that's okay. We got it, didn't we? We all got that, didn't we? So so well done. So and the great, again, just such a great lesson there that Denise just dumped everything and thought that was the book, but that, you know, that's a first draft. Trust me, a first draft is nothing like the end product. Bill, I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm glad I'm not the only one who threw out chapters and complete paragraphs and kept going, refining it and finding that message and going, this doesn't even help, take it out. It won't add or the book won't be worse because I took it out. So, yeah.
But you have to write it before you can recognize that it doesn't fit, right? Like you can't sit there and think about what should go in and what shouldn't. You have to get it all out. Then you look at it and go, oh my gosh, that's got nothing to do with anything that I want to, you've got to see it. It's that, I guess it's that helicopter view, isn't it? It's that, you can't see the forest for the trees kind of thing. You've got to just, the first draft, don't think, just let it rip, just dump anything and everything comes into your head, just write. Then you've got something in front of you that you can work with and mold and create and transform.
Well, that was the best advice you gave me, Andrew, was just to keep dumping, because everything I dumped, I thought, well, those are brilliant things. How can I get rid of those? Those are all great stuff. And then you look at it and go, what was I thinking about? So I was grateful that you kept reminding me, just write, just put it all out there. And, I'll store stuff for maybe book number 2 or something but it was good to go through. Every time I edit it, and I felt bad for the publisher to go back and go, okay, I think this is now the final edit. Or no, this is the final edit. I think I've got it now. This looks good. So thanks for sharing, because Denise, I thought, man, I'm just an idiot. I don't know how to do this, but I'm not the only one.
Well, none of us do, mate, when we start. None of us do. And that's the thing. We all start the same place, don't we? Clueless. We all start with no idea what we're doing and overwhelmed. And the thought of being a published author sounds so far off in the future and so unreachable. But it's one word, one day, one step, one page at a time. That's it. That's the process. And keep going. Awesome stuff. As always, this forum is amazing. Sheree.
I agree. That's just, you just got to keep going on that. Don't even worry about that. But I just had something I wanted to share with you, because I love to study human dynamics and watch people. And I mean, one thing I'm doing is I'm writing another book, and it's going really well. And I'm excited about it because it's the secret to raising cooperative, confident, and stress-free kids that are resilient. So it really gets a lot of people's attention, So it's going to be fun. I'm writing a speech about it, but that's really not the fun part. The fun part is, while I was doing this, there's always these little residual things that go on, because I'm a little ADD and I like to pay attention to everything that's going on. So what I've noticed lately is a lot of people are very stressed, and I've even met some people that were pretty depressed. And I thought, well, how can I, as one person, and I believe in the power of one, nothing starts anyway other than one. And I said, how can I make a difference in this? And I noticed when people connected, they were happy, truly connected, like what we do tonight when we talk to each other and we share things. So I would walk into rooms, and 127 times in the last month, I've heard this conversation. Hi, how are you? I'm fine. How are you? Hi, how are you? I'm fine. How are you? How are the kids? They're good. Okay. And so these are people that either know each other sort of well, or maybe have even just not even met. So what I started doing, oh gosh, about 3 or 4 months ago, actually, was I asked the question, like last night I was at a function and I walked up to this young man and I said, hey, what are you looking forward to? He stopped in his tracks. He didn't quite know. And then he looked at me and he said, you know what? My mother's in the hospital and I'm bringing her home tomorrow. Really, what's she in for? We had a very quick conversation. And when we left that night, even though I hadn't seen him between then and when the event was over, I was able to say to him, good luck with your mom. What a wonderful human connection we made. So I thought, well, this is really weird. This is working really well. So I want to challenge all of you. The other question that I ask people that they love is this one. What made you smile today? And they will stop because you're not asking a question that they can react to. We react as habit, which is fine. But what you really want to do is respond. And I'm watching human connections being made, and it makes people happy. Like when we leave this forum tonight, I don't know about you, but I'm always happier than when I got here. Just sharing with you and seeing all of you again. I look forward to this. So if you don't make the human connection, we're all in such a hurry. How are you? I'm fine. How are the kids? They're good. Occasionally you'll hear something like, how was your vacation? Oh, it was wonderful. And honestly, how are you? I think to myself, I really don't want to know how you are because I don't want a dissertation. But if I might say to you, and so I asked another guy, I was standing, a young woman, I said, so what made you smile today? And she just, and all of a sudden she said, you know, my cats got into it this morning. They were hysterical. So before we even knew it, I knew how many cats she had, kind of where she lived, what she did. That was a human connection. So I'm tickled by all of this. And now it's going to go into another book for adults about some of the small habits that you can create, tiny habits, sort of one of those things that create human connections. So I challenge all of you to try this. Just try it for a couple of weeks and see the difference that you get when you meet people and how much you know about these people and how you feel when you're done. You've made a human connection instead of, yeah, because I've been doing it for years. Hey, how are you? I'm fine. No, I'm not. A lot of people have issues. Anyway, that's my thing. I'll get down off my soapbox, but it's been fun. And I think you'll enjoy it. And I've been doing it. And like I said, I challenge you to try that.
Good on you. That's awesome, Sherry. Love it. Well, being here makes me smile. And what was I looking forward to today? This. So there you go. I've answered the question. Anyone else got any thoughts? Don't tell me we're out of ideas and thoughts. Come on, let's hear from someone who hasn't spoken yet. What have you learned? Sabrina, what have you learned in the last week?
I'll tell you something I learned that's really fun because I'm a writer and I love words and I'm a wordsmith. I play with them. I noticed that there's 5 words that writers use as placeholders. And I went to a seminar and I thought, what the heck does that mean? And they meant when you're writing a novel. So here's a great example. The word good for most novelists is a placeholder. It doesn't stay in the novel. When you're done with the novel, you go back and you search for the word good. Do you know why? There are 1,417 synonyms for the word good.
Wow.
It has 25 definitions. Yes. It's an adverb, it's an adjective, and it's a noun. It can be used spiritually, religiously. It can be used as a moral issue. It is incredible. It can mean that something is like your ticket is good till tomorrow. Good night, good evening. We tell our kids to be good. I tell my dog to be good. I was just fascinated. So I'm a bit of a word. So you asked me what I learned that was new, and that's what I learned. So if you're writing something, look for words like good, nice, big, small, and know that there are a lot of synonyms that you can, and it's more engaging for a reader than using a word that's good. Because I'll tell you what, in my world, good means a whole different thing than in your world. as far as that goes. And it means a lot of things.
Yeah, awesome. That was really good, Sheree. It was amazing, incredible, fantastic, wonderful, brilliant, inspired.
Can I just say to Cherie on that, Andrew?
Yes, you can. We'll
Yeah,
get to you, Sabrina.
So what made you smile today? That's fascinating, isn't it? To think something so simple can be so effective. And from someone who's a cricket coach and a football coach, I can now use something like that in such an impactful way, because as a coach, I'm after buy-in from my players in a way that they feel comfortable to go out and perform at their best, because in sport, we're there to try and win and achieve and get a result. So for me to be able to use a common sentence or term like that before I see them each time is going to get that buy-in in a much more positive way than just saying, "Hey mate, how's your day?" Yeah, good. Okay. But if I was to say, what made you smile today? And I gain more about their life through that one question and their day-to-day life, well, then that basically, as a coach, I see myself as a second parent, right? So, someone that they can invest in a little bit, that maybe mum and dad, they hear that voice forever and they don't want to talk to mum and dad about things or tell mum and dad about things in day-to-day life sometimes. So, that was amazing, Sharif. So I'm grateful for that little comment you gave there. Brilliant. Andrew told me I'd learned some amazing things on these talks. So, yeah.
They haven't disappointed, have they, mate?
No.
Awesome. Now, Sabrina,
Hello there.
tell us what something you've learned.
Well, a fair bit from this one, actually, because part of my trouble that I find is, quite often it's time management, because I often pick up more than what I can chew, if you like, because I'm, as Andrew knows, I work full time. I've picked up trying to write as well as extra study. And I've actually got 2 different courses that I'm studying as well, plus a few health issues which don't help. So life can be challenging, but the I suppose sometimes it's motivation. Sometimes you get to suffer that writer's block, and sometimes it is, as many people probably have the same issue with not knowing where to start and that sort of thing. So the message about remember, go back to the roots and remember what your message is that you want to impart in that particular book. And as with other things, and as with other and through the learning journey, the other thing that you take note of is, even if you write something and it doesn't fit in that area, it doesn't mean you can't use it later. So it doesn't mean you discard it and it's a waste. It's not. It's everything can be important or have its place, but it just might not be there at that moment. But so I think that for today, the takeaway I've got is that come back to that message and focus on that to give you a bit more grounding, if you like. So that's what I really appreciate having that, because sometimes my motivation is I get stuck with all different ideas as well. I tend to my focus tends to sometimes be a little scattered, if you like, because I'm trying to do too many things at once. So, and therefore the energy is spread too thin and doesn't seem to get anywhere. If you feel like you're on a bike pedaling like mad and I'm not really going anywhere up that hill. So I always like to join the forums, because it does help to reinvigorate and re-energize, and sometimes it can give you that spark of, what, maybe I'll just focus on this for a period of time while I can.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Good on you, Brenda. Thank you for sharing that. And good on you for being here, because I think we all go through periods where we lack motivation and we get feelings. Aren't they annoying sometimes? They direct us. We let our feelings direct us, don't we, sometimes? Motivation is the most It's probably a word I think you should eliminate from your vocabulary and think you need to be motivated. Motivation is never the answer. When you're waiting for motivation, you're going to spend a lot of time waiting. Action, action, action. Even when you don't feel like it is the key. Just do something. It doesn't feel like do something. You'll always feel better afterwards.
Thank you. Yes, that's true. Anyone have any insights into assisting when you get those low points and you sort of can't seem to focus on what you want to do at that point? You know, you keep thinking that you want to do your study, or you want to do, or you just need to chill because you're tired from the day of work, or you know, you just, and therefore you end up doing nothing.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? That's a good point, Sabrina, because isn't it, you know, the chill time, we all need it. The question is, are you taking it because you need it, or are you taking it as an escape? So it's always the question you want to ask yourself is, you know, it's like, oh, I didn't get up and exercise this morning because I needed to sleep in. Well, maybe you did, or maybe that was just an excuse not to get up and exercise. Or I just chilled, so I didn't do any writing today. Well, is that so? You got to really be honest with yourself, because we can very quickly believe the crappy stories we tell ourselves. Oh yeah, but I was tired and I needed some time off. Yeah, but you could have done 5 minutes of writing and then still had time off, you know? So I think it's really important to really assess that narrative that's going on in your head, and what's the real reason for the chill out time, or the sleep in time, or the rest recovery time. Is it because you genuinely need it, or is it an excuse because it's too hard to do what you know you need to do?
Yeah, good points.
Joe.
I was just going to say, and I can't remember if, I think I actually got this line originally from either yourself or Craig Harper. And it was, you've got to be able to still do things in the absence of motivation. So I have a lot of clients who say, oh, you know, I'm not really motivated to do that. And my response is always, you've got to be able to do things in the absence of motivation. So I think people do, like you were saying before, Andrew, get a bit caught up on not motivated enough to do something. And I do, you know, I'm always working on it for myself as well, but clients sometimes struggle to change habits. And something I've noticed this week for me is I've got some really unpleasant work-related tasks to do. And I'm very good at procrastination. And I think we can procrastinate with our writing. And what I've found, though, is that I get everything else done that I've been putting off while I'm procrastinating on the worst thing. So it's almost like there's some sort of hierarchy of tasks that I might not want to do. And I've probably done more writing in the last week than in the past 3 months or something while I'm doing this version of procrastination. So it's not necessarily a good thing. I'm not necessarily recommending it because I'm not doing the work thing I have to do, but I'm doing the work thing in small bursts because that's all I can sort of cope with doing. It's the least favorite part of my job. And I'm getting lots of writing done. So I'm trying to focus on how positive it is to actually get quite a lot of the creative stuff out. So it's just been interesting. It's just an observation for those that can maybe relate to procrastination.
I think we can all relate to procrastination. What do they say is, there's a great quote, do what you said you would do long after the mood you set it in is gone. Do what you said you will do long after the mood you set it in has gone. And the thing is, so easy to leave a forum, right? Go, yeah, I'm fired up, I'm going to do it. Okay, well, when the mood's gone, are you still doing it? That's the secret. Keep doing it even when that motivation, that excitement, that is gone. That's
long after. Can you just say it one more time, please, Andrew?
do what you said you would do long after the mood you set it in has gone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, as always,
it's sort of like I have a little thing on my desk that says motivation doesn't create action, action creates motivation. And so that's kind of, it's a very simple way to look at that because it's true, you know.
Yeah,
it works.
It's true.
Is that attributed to anyone, Sheree? Or did you write it?
Who knows where I get this stuff? I mean, seriously, I write down all kinds of things. Anybody could have said it. So I always say I attribute it to the universe.
Someone said it for sure.
Someone said it. If not, I just did. So there you go.
There you go. Someone said it. The other one is motivation might get you started, but it's habit that'll keep you going. There you go. Look, all these wonderful quotes that mean nothing unless you apply them. We could sit here and spout quotes and cliches for hours, couldn't we? But the bottom line is pick one that works for you and apply it to your life. That's the bottom line. It means nothing unless it's applied. So action is always process. Process is as uncomfortable and as annoying as process is. It's the only thing that'll ever give you the result. So fall in love with the process. Fall in love with discomfort, fall in love with annoying, fall in love with can't be bothered, fall in love with all that stuff, but just do it because that's the secret to your achievement. On that note, we might wrap it up. So great to be with you all. Wonderful to see you. Thank everyone for what you shared and just for your presence. Bill, congratulations on your book. Well, there will be a launch that you will all be invited to. Hopefully you all attend. And I look forward to seeing you again. There's another, obviously, forum on Tuesday evening for Australians and some ungodly hour for the Americans. So, but look forward to seeing you again next month. I'll send out the next dates shortly. But thanks for being here and thanks for being a part and thanks for being in my life. Have a beautiful weekend.
You too.
Thank you. That was good.
Thank you.
Bye, Andrew.